Way up in the Himalayas, right on that tense border between India and China, there's a place called the Kongka la Pass. It's beautiful, sure, but it's also wrapped in some serious mystery. Officially, it's a strategic military zone, but if you ask the people who actually live there, they'll tell you it's something else. They call it India's Area 51.
See, when people in the area talk about the strange lights and weird happenings, they don't point fingers at the Indian or Chinese military. Nope, they give you this cryptic line right here. It's this deep-seated belief that there's a third party, someone else, operating completely off the books in this no man's land.
And that's the big question, isn't it? That's what we're going to dig into. Who exactly are they? Are we talking about aliens, ghosts from an old war, or maybe something a little closer to home, but just as secret? Let's get into it. So, how in the world does a remote, freezing cold border crossing get a nickname like that? Well, it all comes down to the stories, the things that people have seen there. Events that have turned this disputed patch of land into a hotbed for the unexplained.
The history here is pretty heavy. It was a major flashpoint back in the 1962 war between India and China, and that conflict still hangs over the region. But in the last couple of decades, the stories have shifted from war to something else entirely. Let's really zoom in on 2 years that changed everything, 2004 and 2012. Okay, so what makes this 2004 sighting so wild is who saw it. We're talking about a team of 14 geologists and scientists from ISRO, that's India's space agency, their version of NASA. These are serious people, led by a respected guy, Dr. Anil Kulkarni. They saw what they called a 4-foot-tall, almost robot-like figure just walking along a mountain ridge. And it was moving weirdly, impossibly fast, before it just disappeared. They even caught a few seconds of it on camera before it was gone. And just so we're all on the same page, this is what they're comparing it to. Area 51 is the gold standard for secret military bases and UFO stories, right? It's a place where everyone assumes they're working on crazy advanced tech, maybe even alien tech. And the US government denied it even existed for decades, which, only made people more suspicious. So when someone calls Kongka la India's Area 51, they're saying it's that level of mystery. So you have civilian scientists seeing weird stuff on the ground. But the story gets even crazier when the military gets involved. By 2012, the soldiers who were actually stationed there, guarding the border, started seeing things in the sky that they just could not explain.
And listen, we're not talking about a one-off sighting. Between August and October of 2012, military units officially logged more than 100 separate sightings. They called them Unidentified Luminous Objects, or ULOs. Can you imagine being a soldier out there in the middle of nowhere and seeing these things night after night?
And this wasn't just some fuzzy dot in the distance. These were trained military observers, and their description was so specific, so bizarre, a silent, glowing ribbon that would just rise up, glide across the entire sky, and then poof, gone. It didn't act like any plane or drone or anything they'd ever seen.
The military took this incredibly seriously, as you'd expect. They aimed their fancy spectrum analyzers at it, but got nothing. No radio frequencies, no signals of any kind. It was like it was there, but it wasn't. They could see it, but their electronics couldn't. They even sent up a reconnaissance drone to get a closer look, but the object just vanished before it could get there. The whole thing got so weird that a full report detailing all 100-plus sightings was sent straight to the Prime Minister's office.
Well, you know what happens when the official explanations just don't cut it. The unofficial ones start to bubble up. And in a place like the Himalayas, a place with so much history and myth, the theories can get pretty wild.
So you basically have two main camps for what's going on. On one side, you've got the UFO crowd. They're convinced there's a massive, secret underground alien base deep beneath the mountains, that the little humanoid was an alien, and these silent ribbon-like things are their ships. Then you have a more haunting theory, that it's the ghosts of the soldiers, both Indian and Chinese, who died in the '62 war, and they're still patrolling the pass, appearing as these strange lights and figures.
But okay, let's put aliens and ghosts on the shelf for a second. What if the answer isn't something supernatural at all? What if it's buried deep inside the Earth itself? Because scientifically, Kongka la is a very, very strange place. So the geology here is nuts. This is the spot where the Indian tectonic plate is literally smashing into the Eurasian plate. It's like a slow-motion continental car crash. The result is that the Earth's crust here is unbelievably thick, almost double the average for the rest of the planet.
So the theory goes, if you were some advanced civilization, human or not, and you wanted to build a super secret, totally secure underground base, well, you couldn't ask for a better natural shield.
That crazy geology might also explain the area's other weird quirk. It's a zone of total electromagnetic chaos. Electronics just die here. GPS fails, compasses go haywire, and pilots say their instruments get all scrambled when they fly over. Scientists think there's a huge, unstable magnetic field deep underground. But here's the kicker. Unlike other magnetic hotspots like the Bermuda Triangle, this one has no rhyme or reason. It's completely unpredictable, which makes you wonder, is it natural, or is something down there causing the interference?
And this brings us to the final piece of this puzzle, the layers upon layers of secrecy from governments, from tech companies that make it almost impossible to know what's really going on at Kongka la.
This is where the official story just doesn't quite line up with what you can see for yourself. For example, pull up Google Earth. There's this huge chunk of the area that's just blacked out. And get this, back in 2006, a satellite photo briefly popped up that showed what looked like a big, modern military complex right in the middle of this no man's land. And then, it was scrubbed. Google removed it, no explanation. So while the governments say, oh, it's a sensitive border, the evidence suggests there might be something much bigger they're trying to hide.
But you know, maybe the most powerful evidence of all doesn't come from a satellite or a soldier. It comes from kids. In a local school, they held a drawing competition. Over half the children drew pictures of UFOs, not planes, not helicopters, but these triangular and saucer-shaped things coming up from behind the mountains. It really makes you think that for the people who live there, this isn't some wild conspiracy theory. It's just part of life.
So where does that leave us? We're stuck with these huge, competing ideas. Is it an underground alien base, perfectly hidden by the planet's own geology? Is it a haunted battlefield where ghosts of the past still wander? Or is it a top-secret military project, either Indian or Chinese, that's so advanced it looks like something from another world?
And that really leads to the final, chilling question. Whatever is going on at Kongka la Pass, it is being kept absolutely secret. The real question is, why? If there is a cover-up, who is it designed to protect? Are they hiding the truth for our safety, or for the safety of whatever or whoever is down there deep beneath the Himalayas?